What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 18 of our Leipzig career mode and the first episode of season 2 here as we look to do a couple things this season, mainly go after the league and go after the Champions League. We lost in the final of the Champions League last year, came third place in the league. So hopefully, we can one-up that. And we're also going to try and bring in a couple players. As you see, we have £154 million to spend. It's an absurd amount of money. And if we take a look at the squad, we haven't been doing, we haven't been looking around too much. I mean, we have a really good squad here. There are some really good players. I mean, we can take a look and see what kind of players will be, or how players will be looking age-wise. Invogo should be coming. Oh, he's on a 2-year loan at PSV. Invogo, so a backup goalkeeper might be in the works. Hasselberg getting up there. He's 29. We're also going to bring in a couple of other players that we were hoping to keep. Kluivert and Angelino, 2 players who are here in real life. But everyone else is kind of in a really good spot in terms of age. Campbell perhaps might be able to be moved on, only if the proper bids come in. Hans Wolf is here now. It's a pretty deep squad. It just is. I mean, there's nothing else we can say about it. But let's take a look at some of our transfer options. We've had a couple of people on the list here. We're taking a look at some. Center back is one. That was from last year mostly, though. All right, so these are the options we're looking at the most. Though we're looking at Angelino to bring in at left back, though we've added a couple left backs here. Why not to look at, just in case Angelino won't come. We're looking at a CDM, someone we can possibly bring in, but he kind of just goes along with all the midfielders here. Zacharias, Renato Sanchez, Souček, Gamaris, and Dombele. Naby Keita, perhaps, bringing him back. And then Cam is an option, someone we can play a little bit wide. One of those options there, Kochu, Atarin, Cunha, Talisca. Atarin strikes me as someone we might be able to go after, perhaps, because I think his contract ends in 6 months, or it did last year when we were looking at it. And then there's some, obviously, strikers, center forward options. And then we've added some more center backs. We have some right backs here. We definitely want to bring in a right back or a center back. One of those two, so Mukele can find a proper spot either at center back or right back. I don't want him going back and forth anymore. So we got Max Aarons here, Yusuf Atal, who's a really good player as well. Can also play on right wing, as you can see. And then Kluivert, someone we can bring in. We have some more cams here. It's a tough situation because we have a ton of players that we want to bring in, or a ton of options here. But we also have a ton of players in the squad already. So let's go after Kluivert first. Between 14 and 20 million. We have 150 to spend. I'm not too worried about spending 50 on player, or, between 50 and 70 perhaps, depending on Angelino. On players that are here in real life. I'd like to bring them in and see what we can do with them. They want 12.3. What is going on here? They want... Whoa. Okay, hold on. Remove the exchange player. Remove the sell-on clause. Let's offer a new fee. Up to 15, but that was 12 million and shares. They want 27 million for Kluivert. That is a little bit much. Let's see. This is a negotiation I didn't think would have to happen. 27 million is not something we thought we'd be paying. What about 24? There's someone we want to bring in. So I guess 24 will have to do. That is crazy how much they wanted in the end. It's probably a bit much. I wouldn't be paying 24 million for Kluivert normally. Kluivert turns into a good player, and of course a pacey winger is a nice option to have. But I wouldn't go crazy on it. Rotation, is that good for Kluivert? He's comfortable. 4-year deal is okay. No release clause, excellent. And what else we got here? Ooh, they want to know what we're going to offer. Do I just do 50 and 100K as a bonus? Reasonable. His client's happy with it. All right, so we've bought Kluivert in. Now let's go take a look. Every time we buy a player, we're gonna have to take a look at the squad and see what this looks like. So these front three, I don't think are changing this summer. We have Eduard here on the bench. Poulsen can play out on the right or on the left. Eduard, and then we have Kluivert, and then Lookman and Wolf as well now. So let's move a couple of these up here. Is that a good... I mean, there are some good players here. Do we sit tight on this up front? Or do we look for another almost attacking player who can play on the sides? At the moment, we have 1, 2, 3 on the front end here. So let's get Kluivert here, perhaps. And Wolf here. So we have the 3 starters. Eduard, Kluivert, that's 5. And then 6 and 7 with Wolf and Lookman. That's 7 for 3 spots. I think that's pretty good rotation. If we get some good bids in for, you know, maybe Wolf or Lookman. We also have Carrizo here, youngster. We're trying to grow. But 7 is a pretty good option there. What are we looking like in midfield? We have the 3, and then Campbell, Haidara, that's 4, 5. Adams is 6. Gravenberch is 7. That's one of those things as well. If we want to bring in a really top quality kind of player, that's one of those things where we may have to move one on. At the back, we have 2 center backs, and then Schurz is 3. Mukele can play there as 4. And then we have a right back, Klosterman, Haslenberg. And then do we have anyone else at right back or left back? If we move Mukele inside, we'll need another right back and then another left back. And we're going to go for Angelino right now. So let's bring Angelino right in. I really don't want to overdo this squad. I don't want to have, you know, God knows how many players in the squad. Let's look at Angelino first. Where is he hiding? Is he up here? He is. How much do they want? 46, between 46 and 66. That's quite a bit. Are there other left backs here? It's here in real life, of course. But there are some other players. Emerson would be a good option. Let's just go for Angelino. We'll go for Angelino. We got to bring in the player who's here in real life. Let's go. We're going to approach to buy Angelino between 44 and 64 is quite a bit of money, but as I said, I'm not too worried about paying this much money for players who are here. We'll still have 70 or so million to spend on a right back, and that would be it, essentially, at the moment. We'll offer... Let's just offer 50 straight up and just see what happens here. They want Fekir in 23. We are going to go ahead and remove that and propose 50 still. Just let me know how you feel about 50, City. They want 66.6. Let's go down with that a little bit. They want 66.6, right? So we're going to go to 58.6, see what they say. They really, really want that 66. How about 62? They're really going to hold on for 66. All right, let's just do 66 million. That's a lot of money. It's definitely way more than he's worth. Probably with Kluivert as well. We've paid 90 million for the two, and in reality, that's wildly high. But do I dare say rotation? Important. That's fair enough. He's going to be the starter, I think, while Haslenberg gets a little bit older. Falls in behind that option for a little bit. That's okay. So Angelino's good. Disregard release clause. He wants 73,000 a week. We'll remove the bonus. 76,000 a week. That's fine. He's on 100K at Manchester City anyway. But there we go. So we've bought him in. Now let's take a look at the office. We have 63 million still to spend. And at the moment, in theory, the only spot we need to get 100% is where do I want to put Angelino? Oh, in the starting lineup, actually. The only thing we need to 100% get will be, or would be, right back. Another right back. So we'll see going forward. But where do we want to put Hasselberg? Do we bring him onto the bench? I kind of like having 3 midfielders on the bench. They're all wildly different. We'll bring him on for Haidara at the moment. I don't want him out of the matchday squad. He will be getting his fair share of games as well. So let's go forward a little bit, see if some bids come in. Obviously, we're only on the 3rd day, so we don't want to go, crazy or anything like that just yet. As interest in Nico Schulz has been shown. All right, so let's go ahead and sim this game. And see what happens. I'd like to get to the end here, obviously. Get to the final. But we also want to see what happens, as I said, as Nkunku scores the winner. I want to see what happens in terms of bids coming in, because we have a lot of players. We have 7 along the front, 7 along the middle. The back line is where it's, 4 center backs, 2 on each, 8. That's a good spot to be. We also might need a backup goalkeeper, perhaps. Someone who can come in and play as the cup goalie. As an interest has been shown in a couple of different players. Talisca. Ooh, a Tau. We might have to do something here. An offer has come in for Kanate for 71 million. I like Kanate. He won't be going anywhere just yet, at least. Forsberg departs. And then, of course, Voigt has left on loan, another midfielder. 8 would have been a little bit too much. So let's go to right back, because Atal was my #1 target, and I don't want him leaving and going somewhere else without us having a go at him. So let's jump into this. Try and get the right back in, get the full back in. 32 million and 41 million between those two. He can also play out on the right. Let's begin negotiations with the club. I don't want to pay that 50 million release clause if I don't have to. But around 34 million is what they said they were looking at. Especially if his release clause is 50 million. What is this? Tyler Adams. No, no, no. Counter. Remove exchange player. Propose new transfer fee. Can we stop messing about? I'm coming in here trying to buy a player. They'll say yes to that. That's good. 34 million for Yusuf Atal is actually a pretty good option, especially in games. If we have trouble on the right, he can move forward, and Mukele can obviously come in. But I may just go ahead and do, I dare say, rotation. I will. He wants to be important. That's fine. That's comfortable for me. He's going to grow into a really good player. I mean, he's a good player as is, but he still has plenty of room to grow at 25. No release clause. Accept. Let's see what he wants for wages. He wants 61,000. Just going to go ahead and accept that, not mess around with it too much, because every time I mess around with those, everything gets messed up. So, Yusuf Atal in at the club. At the moment, he'll sit behind Klosterman, but I think eventually he will pass Klosterman up. Wow, we'll have a center back here. Yusuf Atal is probably a better option on the bench than Hasselberg. I don't want him to go missing either. So we'll move him up here, Lookman in, and we'll look at it that way. That way, Mukele can now be full-blown center back, but be on the bench as his option for right back. So let's go to the squad hub and take a look at Mukele and get into his development. Where is he at? Right back. Alright, Mukele. Development plan. Let's go for center back here. Just make him a center back. Position. Alright, center back. It'll only take 2 weeks because he's pretty much ready to go there already. But to make him a full-blown center back would be good. So that is not too bad. So at the moment, we can take a look at what we're... we can take a look at what we have left as we beat Atalanta. Wang Yichen missed a penalty as well, or scored from an offside position. I'm not sure which it is. But either way, we've won 1-0. And Lazio were beaten as well. So let's take a look how much money we have. As I said, I don't want to do anything crazy just yet. So we move forward. 28 million in the bank. When does the season start? It'll start here. We'll have the Super Cup. So I think we'll do that next episode. Today will just be transfers and other things like that. So we'll stop here and then we'll move forward. And I will join back up with you if an enticing bid comes in or a decision gets made on our end. As an offer's come in for Hasselberg for 30 million. Okay, so this is one of those things. We'll delegate this. If we get above 40, that's probably one of those things we can look at. We'll negotiate for Hartman, because Hartman's not a player who's really going to work his way in here, I don't think. So, moving him on. One player we also have to go get, now that I'm thinking about it, is Sorloth. Completely forgot about him. Completely forgot about him. That's fine here. £800,000. Proposed new transfer fee. We'll do 1.5. See what they say. 900,000. That's fine. I'm comfortable with it because Hartman's not going to do anything wild here. But as I said as well, Sorloth. I've completely forgot about him. That's another player who's in at the club in real life that we didn't bring in because we couldn't. He was out on loan, quote unquote. So that could not happen either. So where is Sorloth? It's definitely on here somewhere. Here he is, Sorloth. Between 19 and 20 million. We'll approach to buy another player who's in at the club. We're going to be filled to the brim with players. We have 8 for the front 3 now. That's probably 1 or 2 too many. We're going to offer a transfer fee. See what they say about 15. Can you stop? Oh, Lookman. Okay. Oh. Let's counter here. Propose new transfer fee. So Lookman and 2.9 million for Sorloth. I don't want any money there. Could I just swap these two straight up? Is that a... That's probably not a good idea, is it? We'll just remove exchange player. For now, we'll just... We'll try just the money. They're fine. 16.9 million. I upped it there a little bit, but it is what it is. But Sorloth will be coming into the club by the looks of it. But we're probably just going to kind of sit and wait and see what kind of bids come in for the players we have. Because I'm comfortable moving a couple of them out, but I don't want to force any of these players out either, so it's going to be a very odd summer. It's going to be something we're just looking to see if things come our way. It's very strange, but, you know, we'll have to deal with it. So Sorloth here, he's on £57,000 a week right now. Let's just go with 50 and try 200,000, see what he says on that. They want 54,000 and a $500,000 signing bonus. That's kind of a lot. Let's lower that just a little bit, but 54,000, they really want the signing bonus. All right, fine. A little bit more than I would have liked on the signing bonus, but another striker comes in because he's a player he has signed in real life, so we can't really do anything about that. Can we? And we'll see what happens. There are players here. A lot of players here now. A whole lot of players. I'm going to bring him ahead of Wolf. But there are players down here. And players who are going to get good as well and grow. And it's a tough spot to be in. Do I want to put Lookman on the bench or do I want to put... No, we'll put Lookman on the bench. He can play up front as well. So Lookman goes onto the bench. But there's a lot of good players here now. We have a lot of good players. And it's going to be an odd summer going forward as we kind of just wait around for bids to come in. So 10 million left with us. We're going to jump forward. We might take a look when we come back for the final of this, or when, you know, we'll just keep cutting in and out until we get to a good spot, guys. All right, here we go. Here's one of those transfers I was talking about, and it's not Martinez, who, you know, Rio Ave has bid 2.5 million for. It's a 58.5 million pound bid for Mukele from PSG. Now, currently, Mukele, we're gonna delegate this Joseph Martinez one. 2.5 million for a 23-year-old, 70 overall is not a problem. Offers come in from Chelsea, 1.85 million in Mason Mount. No, thank you. But this is absurd money. And Mukele, in the end, I don't think would be the starter. I'd like Kanate gets really good. He's good already. And Upamecano's definitely not being moved. And now him and Kanate would definitely be fighting it out for that second spot. But if I were to just commit to Kanate, say, then, you know, what happens? Then we have a unhappy third option on the bench. We can definitely buy another option. With that money, we can buy our backup goalkeeper as well. This is what I'm talking about in terms of going forward. Some of these options, this is what happens as a couple of these have come in. A sale agreement's been made for Joseph Martinez, and they're prepared to pay 31 million for Hasselberg. I don't think I'm going to accept that one. The Martinez one I am going to accept. That's all right. Backup goalkeeper is on the list of stuff, and we have a little bit of money to go out and get one, even if nothing else happens for the rest of the window, so I'm not overly concerned about that, as Hartman's been loaned out, and we're in the final of this as well, against Benfica, who we already beat in this tournament, and this team is exhausted. It is a really bad idea to just quick sim this. We won 3-1 with those incredibly tired legs. They had a man sent off in the 16th minute. I don't see any injuries there, though, which is good, because they'll have plenty of time to recover after the fact. But that is a massive, massive bid for Mukele, and I am aware that he becomes an excellent player, and it's not anything crazy like that where I just want to move him on or anything, but that's getting close to that area of I can't really put this down for what would be the third option for the moment at center back. It's just difficult to say no to, and difficult to really push to the back. It's just difficult stuff. So we'll see what happens. An offer's come in for Sabitzer from Liverpool. Sabitzer will not be going anywhere regardless of the price. Going through his prime, he will be doing it here in Germany with us. And I keep waiting for this to come back. The Martinez one is come and gone already. He's been sold. We're just waiting as Todd Cantwell went to Mönchengladbach. That's an odd one, though Cantwell's a pretty decent player. Some more scout reports coming in. Let's take a look here. Are they all just scout reports? They look like they are. Yeah, Martinez has been sold, so nothing on Mukele yet, which is a bit of a shame. Just waiting for it. This is a big... then he can change positions right now. I'm going to hold off on that for just a moment as an offer's come in. 80 million. See? Can we deny 80 million here? Oof, my God. He's 23, 83 overall. 80 million pounds for our third choice center back. And he's not even an option at right back anymore. We have Klosterman and Etal. So, I mean, 80 million for a player who's not going to play all the time. We have to. We have to accept it. We can't let it go. I know some of you may be angry at me. A lot of you have been pressuring me to play him a little bit more often. Some of you think he's better than Kanate. But That's an offer we cannot refuse. 80 million for Mukele. And it looks like he may be going off to PSG. That is a big, big, big offer, and we'll need to bring in another center back. Mukele has been sold. 80 million. Loan deal to buy Barkowski, and an offer's come in for Poulsen, which is not going to happen. And then Barkowski, 1960 overall. We'll negotiate. We got to negotiate all these now. I can't accept it all on its own, which is kind of annoying, but we'll jump in. We'll accept loan without buy, or loan to buy. 2-year loan length. We'll do a 1-year loan. That's fine. Very good. Accept the wage split, £1,000 a week. £510,000. We're going to propose a new transfer fee. Just bring it up a little bit. See what they say. They want £510,000 with a 2% sell-on clause. That's fine. I'm comfortable with it, and off he goes. And we now are sitting on £90 million. And one set of players I'd never really looked at was the goalkeeper, because I thought Nvogo would be coming back. And maybe if I bring him back forcefully, can I bring him forcefully back, Nvogo? Recall from loan for 390. There we go. There's our backup goalkeeper, Nvogo. There we go. Option filled. Now let's go to transfers because we'll need another center back. Now let's take a look up here. I mean, that realistic. Definitely Rudiger, Elvedi perhaps. Rudiger's those 28. I would like a player who's not going to play a lot right away, who's going to grow. What about Kavak? Pongrakic is also a really good option. Tapsoba, though probably this one's a little bit unrealistic. Soyuncu to come in, and he's at Tottenham now as well. I think this is the best option here. Kavak, between 28 and 39 million. Of course, linked with a couple of big clubs. Didn't go anywhere last year. Didn't go anywhere this year. Been linked with Liverpool quite a bit. But let's see if we can bring him in to Leipzig. Again, with the... We're going to counter, remove exchange player, propose new transfer fee. 28.7. How do you guys feel? They want 30.6 with a 15% sell-on clause. I want to remove that completely, the sell-on clause. Now they want 34.3. Being a little bit of a pain here, Shulk. 33.8. That's fine. That's okay. 33.8 million for Kabak, a player who will get to Mukele's level rather soon. He may not be there right now, but Kabak and 50 million for Mukele is a pretty good. It's a pretty good turn. They're comfortable with rotation. That's excellent. 5-year deal, please, at 21. That would be excellent as well. Disregard release clause, and he's on 18,000 a week, but I'm gonna have to give him a little bit of a raise here, and we'll give him a pretty decent sign-on bonus just to see. We don't want to upset him, and it's a reasonable offer. So in he comes, Ozan Kabak in at the club, Mukele out, unfortunately for him. Now Klosterman becomes that guy who can play right back or center back, and Voga will come up a little bit because he will be our backup goalkeeper. But Kabak, who is a full center back now. We were going to move Mukele to full center back, but he was an option, quote unquote, to play right back as well. Klosterman can do that also. Maybe it's best if we just made Klosterman a right back as well in the development plan. So let's go to the development plan right now and get Klosterman to right back. Development plan. He can play right back already, but if I just made him a full-on right back, that would probably change it a little bit. Here's Klosterman and right back. 2 weeks should be fine relatively soon, guys. But we're moving. This is actually a lot longer than I would have liked. So we're going to end this video here. Next episode, we will be coming back, doing a little bit more of this. And we will also be playing the Super Cup and probably getting through the rest of our transfers. I mean, we have a lot of money. Whether we're going to spend that money as of this moment in time is £61 million. Whether we're going to spend it, we'll see. There are younger players I would like to bring in. I'll take a look at a couple, but for now, guys, we'll see. But that is it. I hope you folks have enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more. And peace.